This video is about week 19 after my midfoot fusion and bone graft for a Lisfranc dislocation. My surgery was on July 30th, 2024, and week 19 was from Tuesday, December 3rd through Monday, December 9th, 2024. The biggest things I was working on that week included the following: making sure I took breaks from activity when my foot would begin to feel painful, because as the surgeon had explained at my last appointment, increasing activity too quickly would cause inflammation that lasts longer and had trouble going back down, and so that would slow down healing. Slowly increasing activity, but being mindful of my foot as I did increase activity so that I was challenging my foot rather than hurting it. This was something that could at times be a difficult balance because I sometimes had trouble telling when it was time to take a break versus when it was time to keep pushing. So this was my biggest ongoing challenge throughout my recovery from foot surgery, as before the foot surgery I had the tendency to just keep pushing through pain no matter what, and after the foot surgery this was absolutely not the time to do that. I was continuing to take short drives so that my foot could slowly get used to driving so that it would be ready to go back to in-person work at the end of January, and I was going to physical therapy still for strengthening and balance exercises. I had physical therapy twice that week. It continued to be difficult, but it was manageable. The compression socks continued to help a lot. The balance exercises continued to be the most difficult, along with the standing heel raises. The BAPS balance board continued to be one of my favorite things because although it was a bit of a challenge at the level 3 height, it gave a good stretch for my foot and ankle at the end of the sessions. Matt and I went to our weekly trivia night with some of our friends, and when I submitted an answer for our team, the trivia host commented that it must be really nice to be out of the walking boot. Although it had been a difficult process transitioning out of the boot, it was so much more comfortable now that I was used to walking in shoes again to not have to use the walking boot and be walking almost normally again. It honestly felt like a different life being out of the walking boot, and my foot felt more integrated back into my body now that I was out of the walking boot and had fully transitioned back into regular shoes. I did still have some pain and a lot of pressure from the hardware, but it was nothing at all like the pain that I had had earlier on in the recovery process. And it was nothing like the pain that I had had before the surgery. My foot, ankle, and leg felt like they were all working together much better, and my calf muscles had been improving a lot with the help of physical therapy since transitioning out of the boot as well. I was doing better with walking that week. I went for a few walks. I went on one walk for 0.6 miles in 13 minutes and 45 seconds, which was a bit slower than my walks before the surgery, but was a little faster than the week before. The walks did make my foot pretty sore, so I typically had to ice and elevate my foot after each time I walked. Going up and down the stairs was getting a little easier, although my right foot did still feel very stiff and a little painful when walking down the stairs with alternating feet. I was working on having my ankle and foot movement while walking down the stairs feel more coordinated. Matt and I were continuing to do the gym 3 times a week. I had found a pretty good gym routine that was working well for me and incorporated some of the physical therapy exercises while giving me a good workout at the same time. I did have to be careful and mindful of my foot and sometimes changed up the exercises that I did if my foot was beginning to feel a bit painful, but for the most part my foot had been tolerating gym activities pretty well. It was getting easier to do housework and to be moving around the house for longer periods of time. My foot did still get pretty sore, but it was manageable as long as I was careful and as long as I made sure to ice my foot when I needed to. I did still need to use the knee scooter at times, especially when I was cooking or baking something that required standing in place for extended periods of time, since standing in place was painful for my foot and would make it swell up quite a bit. I went to a Christmas brunch on Saturday, December 7th with my mom and my sisters, which was a ton of fun, and we met some great people there. They came to pick me up, and then we did some Christmas shopping all together afterwards. I did have to take some sitting breaks because my foot got pretty sore, but the compression socks helped a ton, and my foot did pretty well overall. Everyone was worried about me walking so much that day, but I was trying to get used to doing a bit more walking with breaks. I think my family had been feeling very protective and nervous after seeing me just have such a difficult time before the surgery with my injury and then with the recovery afterwards, and so they were still getting used to me being medically permitted to slowly do more. The surgery had been something that was pretty dramatic for all of us to work through together, and so when my family would get worried, I would have to remind myself how stressful it must have also been for them as well to be helping take care of me and to see me going through the recovery. The same day that I had gone to the brunch, I also went to a light-up night with my friend Katie in a neighborhood not too far from mine. I did have about an hour and a half at home to elevate and ice my foot, which helped a ton, and then I did bring one of my crutches since I had been pretty active that day, and it was a great thing that I did because it helped me be able to comfortably stay a bit longer at that light-up night event than if I had not brought it. On Saturday, December 7th, I ended up walking 4.2 miles, which was the most I had walked since my midfoot fusion by far. I did, of course, have to take it pretty easy the day after because my foot was pretty sore, but it was exciting to see that I was slowly working back towards what I was able to walk on a typical day before my surgery. For those of you who have hung around for this entire video, I hope that you are doing well. Please let me know in the comments how you have been doing and about any challenges or successes that you have been experiencing lately.